Anderson. I'll be doing grade 11 mathematical literacy, and today I'm just continuing with data handling. The one thing that I realize most people struggle with data handling is how to actually make a graph, how to draw up a graph from the information that was given. So that's my main focus for today, is how do you actually draw a graph. So I just want to quickly recap some information that you will need before you can draw a graph. The first thing is classifying data. Okay, so as I said last time, classifying data is mainly into two categories, naming categorical or numerical. So categorical means it's words, so it's gender, it's race, it's city, it's that type of thing. That's categorical. Where numerical is anything that has numbers. So discrete must be a whole number. Continuous means it can be a comma, something like a decimal. So it's easy, it flows on each other. It's not a whole simple number that you can't use or must be a specific thing. Okay, let's just quickly look. Here's my sorted data or my data. I just now want to find out how am I supposed to make a frequention table. So if this is my data, your first thing is you have to sort it in categories. So if you look at it, you start there at 1.2, 1.45, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.92. So if I had to guess case, or if they don't specifically tell you this is your categories that you have to use, then I would say something like below 1.5, in between 1.5 and 1.59, in between 1.6 and 1.69, 1.7, 1.79, 1.8, 1.89, 1.9 to 1.99, or yes, and 2. Remember, guys, your categories have to be in the exact interval. So you can't just say, okay, but here it's easy, you just say 1.9 to 2. Whichever, then your categories will be wrong. If you said something like above 1.9 here, then you can add both of them in one category, but that's not what I did. So let's just quickly go. My first category is below or is shorter than 1.5. So it will be those three the data that will fall into this category. So it's 1 male and 2 females. That's how I got to 2 females and 1 male. That's my category. Less than 1.5 meter, 2 females, 1 male. The next one is 1.5 to 1.59. So there's the group. It's 5 females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 females and 0 males. So that's how I got to 5 females and 0 males. The next category is 1.6 to 1.69. Wow, there's quite a lot. So let's just quickly look. The easiest one, male. Then let's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 females for the females. The next category is 1.7 to 1.79. So let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 males. There we go. And the females is 1, 2, 3, 4 females. Then the category is 1.8 to 1.89. 1, 2, 3, 4 males and 1 female. 1.9 to 1.99, 1 male, and above 2 meters, 1 male. You can also say, what will also be acceptable is 1.4 to 1.5, and you can add categories to this. So if you don't want to say smaller than and bigger than, then you can add categories to this. It doesn't matter. The only thing that this is going to affect is how many staffs or how many bars you have on your graph. Now, how did I get my totals here on the bottom? I would say 2 plus 5 gives you 7, plus 12 gives you 19, plus 4 gives you 23, 24 females. And again, I do the exact same with the males. 1 plus 1 gives you 2, plus 7 gives you 9, plus 4 gives you 13, 14, 15 males. That's how I got my totals at the bottom. The easiest way for me to do it is, as you can see here, I like colors because colors make it easier to see where you are, what you want to do. So if you have colors, highlighters, just mark them like this, then you are sure you didn't make any mistake. The next one, now I have my frequention table, I have the numbers, but I don't actually, if they ask you for a distribution, then you can't give them this because this is not a distribution between them. A distribution means I want to know that 2 females, how much does it represent of the total females in this data set. So if I want to see that there's 2 females of the 24 females in this category, and I multiply it by 100, why? I multiply it by 100 to get a percentage. So if I don't multiply it by 100, then I just have a decimal, which is still fine, but you won't be able to see it as clearly as you do now. So 2 divided by 24 multiplied by 100 gives you 8.3%. And again, if you do it with 5 divided by 24 multiplied by 100, you're going to get 20.8. Now you do the exact same for all of them and you get a total on the bottom of 100. If you don't get to 100, probably is a rounding mistake or missing some information. So that you are correct and you are using everything to the best method. Okay, so now we're actually going to start with drawing a double bar graph. This is the easiest one. So you have your information, okay? You already stored it in your frequency table, so it's easy for you to understand it. So now I like to start with my background. So there's my heading is male and female height distribution. Here is the number of people, this part. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. Okay, remember your independent goes on your x and your dependent goes on your y. Your independent is the one that changes, doesn't change no matter what, and the y is the one that changes. So this one changes because of the information in the categories. That's why this is the dependent one and that's the independent one. Your most important thing that you have to remember when you do a graph is you need your key. Your key on the your key is going to tell you what does the graph actually represent. So when you actually do this, you will get marks for your headings. If you wrote your headings, you'll get marks for your key. You'll get marks if this is in the correct intervals. Remember, guys, you can't go from 0 to 2 and then 3 and then 6. It must follow on each other. If it doesn't follow, then your graph is going to be wrong. Okay, so let's start. The first one, the first category is less than 1.5. There's 2 females and 1 male. So there's my number 2 and there's my 1. So my females, I'm going to draw a line there where it says number 2 and I'm going to make a bar. There where it says number 1, I'm going to make a bar for the males, like that. The next one is 5 females and 0 males. So there's my number 5. I'm going to draw a line and finish off my bar. There's nothing for the males, so you don't need to even make a line for them. The next one is 12 and 1. So there's my number 12. I'm going to go, I'm going to make a line there. And there's my 1. I'm going to make a line. So the females is going to have a bar that's 12 people long. And the males is only 1. Then it's 4 and 7. Okay, so there's my number 4. So I'm just going to draw a line there. And 7, there's my number 7. I'm going to draw a line there for the males. And I'm going to finish off the bar. The next one is 1 and 4. So there we go. There's 1 and there's 4. I'm going to draw the bar and it's almost done. The next one, 1.9 to 1.99 and 2 meters are both 1 for the males. So you're going to have 0 for your females. So you're just going to have a line. There's your bar, and the next one is also going to be 1 for the males, 0 for the females. So no bar at all. Okay, so if you are done, your graph should look like this. What's the most important thing to remember about a double bar graph? A double bar graph, it has spaces in between your bars. So if you don't have spaces in between, it automatically is a different type of graph. So this one is very important. You have to have spaces between your bars. Remember now, there where it says zeros, you still need to consider that to have your space in between, because there is supposed to be something, but your data says it's 0. Okay, hope you all understand this part. The next one is a histogram. So what is the difference between a histogram and a double bar graph? A histogram, the categories need to follow on each other. You can't have less than 0.5. You have to have a specific category for each and every one of your information. And then if you draw your histogram, there's no space in between the bars. So the bars are nicely tight next to each other. There's no space. The main reason for this is it flows into each other. So the intervals on the bottom, it should be so that the next one forms almost part of the first bar. So the most important thing, no spaces between the histogram. Where a double bar graph has spaces in between the bars. Okay. Just remember, you can't use this information for a discrete classification. Why? Because the intervals on the bottom is supposed to flow into each other. So if you have a discrete, remember discrete means you have a whole number, so it is one full number. So if it doesn't flow into each other, so this must be a continuous numerical information on the bottom for you in order for you to draw a histogram. Okay, the next one I want to look at is a stack graph. So a stack graph is a bar graph, but instead of putting your bars next to each other, you're going to put it on top of each other. Okay, so let's just quickly look at this again. Again, I draw my background, number of people, the distribution, I have my key, I have my heading. So the first one is 2 females and 1 male. So if you add the 2, you're supposed to be at the number 3. Do you see that? So let's start. There's my first, the females is at level 2. There's 2 females and there's 1 male. So if I stack it on top of each other, I add the 2 together to get the final answer of 3. So in this category, you can see there's 3 people that is shorter than 1.5 meter. The next one, it's 5 females and 0 males. So this one looks almost the exact same as the bar graph, just because there's no males in this interval, so there's nothing that you're going to stack on top of it. The next one is 12 and 1. So I'm going to have my 12 females and I'm going to add the 1 for the male. So in total, I'm going to have my 13 people in this category. The next category, 1.7 to 1.79, has 4 females and 7 males. So if I stack them up on top of each other, I'm going to get 11. Okay? So I have my 4 females and I have my 7 males. So in this category, I have 11 people. The next one, 1.8 to 1.89, I have 1 female and 4 males. So there I have 1 female and I have 4 males. That gives me a total of 5 people in this interval. The next one, I have 0 females and 1 male. There we go. And the next one also 0 females and just 1 male. Okay, do you see there's still spaces in between your bars? The main reason this is not a histogram. It's just a histogram that is the the bars are next to each other, there's no gap in between. Whereas a stack graph, you have your spaces, and a bar graph, you have your spaces in between. But do you see there's no space between the bars on top of each other? That's because if you have a space, then you're not going to have the correct number of people in this category. So already you can see in this category, 1.6 to 1.69, there's the most people in that category. But if you see in this category, there's your most males is in this category, 1.7 to 1.79. Okay, let's just quickly look at the pie chart. Now, I know this is, for some people, this is the most difficult one. And I just want to show you why it's actually quite easy. So you have your frequency table, the exact same one we've been using the entire time. So now I'm going to ask, what part of the pie will this 2 females be? So you're going to say 2 divided by your total amount of 24, and that's going to give you an answer, right? But now, to get to a pie chart, how many degrees does a circle have? A circle has 360 degrees. So you're going to say 2 divided by 24 multiplied by 360, because 360 degrees for the inside of the pie circle, and that's going to give you 30 degrees. So how do you actually draw this? You're going to draw a line, and then you're going to measure 30 degrees from there, and you're going to draw another line. The next one, it's 5 of the 24. So 5 divided by 24 multiplied by 360, because the inside of the circle is 360 degrees, and that's going to give you 75 degrees. So again, you're going to, from there, measure 75 degrees onwards, and you're going to draw a line, and you're going to have your second piece of the pie. The next one, it's 12 of the 24. Now, if you can see, that's 50%. It's exactly the half. So 12 divided by 24 multiplied by 360, that's going to give you 180. So again, from there, you're going to measure 180. It should be a straight line, because the 50% of 360 is, or 360 divided by 2 is 180. The next one, it's 4 of the 24, so 4 divided by 24, and that gives you 60%. So from this line, you're going to measure 60 degrees onwards. The next one is 1 of the 24 multiplied by 360, that gives you 15%, of 15 degrees. So you're going to go from there, you're going to go onwards 15 degrees. Now remember, the last two, you still need to add them, but you just add the description, because there's not actually a piece of pie that they will get. You see, it's actually quite simple. So if you just have now percentages or distribution, all you're going to say is whatever percentage divided by 100, because every percentage goes all the way up to 100, multiplied by 360, and you're going to get the exact same answer. So a pie chart is actually easy as long as you know the concept. I want to know, what piece of pie does this frequency, this amount represent? That's what I want to find out, calculate. Okay, then line graphs. Now line graphs, most of you are supposed to be quite familiar with line graphs, because line graphs we do in almost every topic in mathematical literacy. So let's just quickly look at the line graphs. There's my information once again. So now I'm going to start with my background. I have my keys. The first category, there's 2 females and 1 male. So I'm going to go here where it says 2 for the females and 1 for the male. I'm going to draw 2 dots. Then I'm going to continue. 5 for the females and 0 for the males. So now my females is going to go all the way up to 5, and my males is going to go all the way down to 0. Remember this now, the x-axis represents 0, because that's where the line 0 starts. The next one is going to go all the way up to 12, and that one is going to go a bit up to 1. You see, you just draw a dot, you just put a dot and you draw a line with your ruler. The next one, it's 4 and 7, so my lines are going to cross because my females are going to go all the way down to 4 and my males are going all the way up to 7. The next one, it's 1 and 4, so my males are going down to 1 and my females are going down to 1. Oh, sorry, my males are going down to 4 and my females are going down to 1, like that. The next one is the males is 1 and the females are 0. So my line for my females is going down to 0 and my males is going to 1. And that's going to be the exact same for 2. Do you see you have to use a ruler when you are drawing this specific line graph? So when you are doing with data handling in line graphs, please remember a ruler. It's not, you shouldn't draw it freehand like in other cases where you have to calculate or you have to do a specific calculation. Most of them then you have to draw with your freehand. This you have to draw with a ruler. Thank you very much.